All right, so good evening. Tonight we are going to be talking about posting, and I do this call every so often, but we always have new people, and it's really a good reminder even for myself, like why we post, what we need to be posting about and talking about. And lately we've had a lot of different questions about the difference between what do we put in a post and what do we share on our stories. So, and we've kind of talked about that. So this is all going to be specifically about posting. But before we even get into this like short little PowerPoint, we want to remember that we, like as coaches, we want to be sharing our journey, sharing what we're doing, sharing what's working, sharing our struggles, being open and honest. We don't want to focus on selling, like the actual word. Yes, we obviously want to sell challenge packs, but we want to share this so that we're like actually relating to people and actually drawing them in to help them. So, so we're going to talk about what a salesy looking page looks like and what it looks like to just be sharing our journey, because that our job as coaches is our journey. So think about a couple of things as you're posting at whatever you're talking about. Can this relate to somebody else? If someone's reading this, can they relate to you and what you're talking? So we're going to go through this, but we want to be sharing, like I said, like maybe something that we overcame or something that we're struggling in right now. And I'll give some examples in a little bit about that. And then the third thing that we want to focus on when we're posting is that almost always we want to be adding some sort of value to the audience, to the person that's looking at the post. Excuse me. And think to yourself, like, would they want to follow you? Would they want to come back to your page and check it out again because they like what you put the last time, right? And so in value, it doesn't have to be like, and I guess we'll go through this in a minute. I always get ahead of myself, but I'll go ahead and say it because sometimes I feel like I have to be a really good speaker, a really good writer, or be super inspiring. And well, I don't have anything to say today. But we really don't, it like value can be so simple. Sometimes value might just be that your kid said something hilarious today and maybe the other moms need to laugh, you know? It could be a recipe. It could be something that you read in your personal development. It could be something you heard on the radio. Like, you know, it doesn't always have to be this like elaborate long story. Like I think that all the time. But just, is it adding some sort of value to them? It's not just you, and we'll talk about this too, but it's not just you saying, I did my workout today, yay, day one done. Like, I said day one done today, but I also said like, here are my favorite things and here's why you should do it too, and that kind of stuff. So that's adding value. So something else to think about as you start posting, a lot of coaches on here are new and still learning this, is what do you want your brand to be? And sometimes that word throws me off because I'm like, well, I'm not a brand, like I'm just Heidi, you know? But there's still kind of like a focus or a target market of women or men or whatever that you're focusing on, that who are you talking to? And like, who is watching you, who is following you, who is your audience? So all of our audiences are going to be different, but mine, for instance, especially like, I know Facebook is a little bit different, I think, because a lot of Facebook is like people from high school and people from my family and things like that. But my audience in general is women, and specifically moms. I don't really have a target age range. Some people do. Some people have like a really specific, but I seem to draw in like all age ranges. And so maybe that's my target audience. It's just that they connect with me in some way. So on Instagram, I'm focusing a lot on finding homeschool moms now because we're new at homeschooling. Or for a while, I was following lots of new like foodie people, like who like to cook and healthy foods and things like that. So those are just a couple of examples, but ultimately, like, who is that person that you're talking to that was you when you were, you know, when you were watching whoever if I'm your coach or whatever. And like, well, Brandy's kind of an exception to this because she was a free customer, but a lot of people obviously are going to be following your posts. And who are you talking to? So, okay. So if you want to take a minute, I'm not going to like pause for a minute, but take a minute now or after this call or while I'm talking to kind of think about maybe about 5 things, 5 areas about you that interest you. So again, I wrote down cooking, homeschool, stay-home mom, health and fitness does interest me, but that one does not have to be on your list. Those are some ideas. Maybe you're a dog, like a pet person and you have we have a golden doodle. I'm not like all in dog person, but that's an idea. Maybe you sew or, I don't know, like maybe your kids are in sports. There's all kinds of kind of like these like target niches that you can narrow down and find other people with those things in common, if that makes sense. So think about that. And I feel like I always used to struggle finding my 5 things because I was like, I do Beachbody and I'm a mom. And that's like also my passion and my hobby. I'm like, I don't have hobbies. I'm really boring. But what else? Like, I like to sing. There are other things about me that I just don't think are exciting because it's just me. But it would help me connect with somebody else who maybe also whatever. So hopefully that makes sense. And then the last thing to think about is, what do you want your voice to be? Like when you're writing, what do you kind of want it to sound like? And you obviously want it to sound like you if you were talking. But a lot of times as we post and as we grow, we sort of develop a voice of like what our message is and what we're trying to get out there and get across. And again, for me, it has changed a lot over the years. Like when I first started, my voice was speaking to moms and teaching them to not feel guilty for taking time for themselves. I still kind of incorporate that, but that was like my message all the time. I posted about it constantly because that was what was changing in my own life and in my own mindset and everything. And I don't know where it went from there, but like gradually now, I feel very strongly about living like an overall healthy life. So I love talking about nutrition and just like being consistent. And I mean, it's still all sort of workout stuff, but I kind of honed in on like what I'm really standing for and what my message needs to be. If this is like overwhelming you because you're new and you're like, okay, I haven't even put a post up yet, then don't worry about that. But just know that like this is something to think about and that it will come. And it will, when it does come and when you really hone in on that, it makes it a lot easier to post because you know what you stand for and you know what you want to be saying. So hopefully that kind of made sense. But just also you can kind of think of it like you have a blog. I know someone actually said that to me one time. It's like, you have a blog. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess so. I don't, but I thought maybe I should and I could just double post it. But you can kind of think of it that way. Again, because you're telling a story and you're adding value all the time. So, okay. So before you start posting, and some of this will be repeat probably from what I just said because I always get ahead of myself, but think about what is the message or the plan that you want to get across. Some days, there are going to be days where you're like, oh man, I just can't think what to post. And there are going to be days like that. And so you might just throw something up and that's okay. But for the most part, like sit down and think about it before you start writing. What do you want to talk about today? What is that message? What do you want people to hear? Maybe it is about your workout, but again, like maybe we don't want to just throw up a selfie, and maybe we want to say like what was really hard today that we had to overcome mentally. Or maybe we want to talk about like how we lifted 5 pounds heavier than we did last week and we can't believe it. We've never lifted that heavy or something like that, like share a win or a struggle, or something that you're learning or something you've overcome. So those are some examples. And then down here in this box, like, I mean, I can read through those if you want, but those are just like another list of examples because we don't actually want to be talking about Beachbody every day, even though sometimes I still do because I just love it. But we can be talking about like relationships, mom life. There are times when I post like I had have the worst day ever with the kids and I was crying. I think I actually had a memory pop up that one day I posted like a crying picture and I was sitting on the toilet in the bathroom because I had the worst day, and like, why do moms have to go hide in the bathroom to cry? I don't even know what I talked about. That is okay. And that actually connects with more women. That gets more people on your post a lot of times than your workout stuff. So do those things, because again, like, people are going to be really excited for your workout stuff for like 1 week. And then they're going to be like, okay, she's old news. Like, she's just doing what everyone else is doing. So you want to get their attention. And I know one time, a couple years ago, I heard a call by a girl who said, I think she made a shirt, or she said she should make a shirt that says, do it for the likes. And she sometimes, if she wasn't getting any new people or any engagement, she would literally just do something crazy in a post for the likes, like to get as many likes as she could. And so once she just dyed her hair, I think she dyed it pink or something. And she's like, I just did it for the likes. I didn't even want it. I'm like, what? So you could keep that in mind every once in a while. So it could be fun. You don't have to be serious all the time. Anyway, you can read through the rest of that, of some other ideas that I said, if that helps. And then we want to be honest, authentic. Again, think of like you're telling your story, and it's like you have a blog. So a blog, well, I guess a blog sometimes could be promoting something or selling something, but have you ever just like gone and checked a recipe? I'll Google recipes all the time, and you go to it and it's like somebody's blog and you have to read through like scroll forever to get to the recipe. They're telling a story that goes along with the recipe, which is cool. I just don't have time to read it. But so we're kind of essentially no offense if anyone does that. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, this is really neat. So, but we're telling a story. And so we want to be authentic, because the people that are coming to read it, they need to build trust with us, or they're going to be like, oh, she's just selling me something, and then she's not going to like help me afterwards, right? And our job as coaches is obviously to help them get started, but really our job starts after they sign up. And so we want them to learn that, and we want to build that trust so that they know we're going to be there, right? And part of that is showing up every day in a post, because the more that they see that, like, wow, she's really dedicated, wow, she's consistent, like those, those are qualities and traits that carry over into your coaching business and into how you take care of your customers and all of that. And then we also like obviously want to stay authentic, because people like real. They don't want to see fake, like Instagram perfect all the time. What do you go watch the most? Like, maybe you watch some of that, but I'll go watch like the funny mom who's being totally honest and real, and like doing some funny video that you can relate to, right? And that is funny, but so true. So you want them to keep coming back to see more. And so being authentic is going to help that. And then again, I've said this already several times, but don't just post like your workout picture or something like that and then just say, I did my workout. Talk about what that represented today, or make it connect to them. So a lot of times you can start your post with, I don't know. Well, I was going to say, so for me, like I've been a coach for almost 4 years. So I'd be like, 4 years ago, I never would have been able to do this or something. Or I used to, now I can't even think of examples what I used to say, but there are kind of like some starting points like that it's like you're taking them back to a time when you used to do whatever. And then how has this community, how has Beachbody, how has coaching helped you through that? So you tell a story, you kind of touch on a couple of like feelings that they would have to relate to also. And then how you feel and how you felt back then, and then how you feel now. All right. So, and I said we talk about kind of a salesy profile. So these are things that we don't want to do. And if you have done them, don't panic and don't feel bad, because everyone when they're new does this, because we don't know. So now we're going to know. But first of all, like we don't want to just put up like ads or pictures from Beachbody all the time. There's a time and a place for this, but a lot of times it's a little bit better, maybe since we have stories now. Like, I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've really done it so much for job one, but sometimes on a launch, like I'll put up, well, I do put up the before and after pictures, and that's totally fine, but I'll talk about that. But like sometimes I'll screen record some of the sizzle video, like the intro video to one of the new programs. So I probably wouldn't put that on my post necessarily, but I'll put a little bit in my stories so people can kind of be interested and intrigued. But posts, again, are, it is your storefront, but since we're working on sharing and not selling, we need this to come from our heart and come from like, why are we excited to whatever? Like, I mean, job one just came out, so that's a perfect example. Why are we excited to start that? What are those key points? You know, like it's 20 minutes long and it's Christmas. So that's really amazing that like that's all the time that we need to use for that. And like, so you want, and also you want people to see you. So you want to have pictures of yourself, even if you feel uncomfortable or embarrassed. I know that took me a long time. Like I always joke that I didn't even know that the phone turned around to take a picture of you. Like that's how you did a selfie. I didn't even know that. When I first started coaching, there's a button for that. But we want to see you again, because why? That builds trust and that shows them that it's you behind that screen, right? And that you're here, like you're in it for the long run. You're not just trying to sell them something to make some money and then they're going to go away. And unfortunately, like as good as ads might be and look for us, like to be like, oh man, that's such a good deal, it might not look like that to someone else. And also that, I don't know always like everything about algorithms, but I do know that things like that are probably not going to be seen as much in a feed because it's not as popular to be seen. So another thing is I put down constant challenge group CTAs. A CTA is a call to action post. And I'll show you I'm going to show you my Instagram at the end. I need to hurry though. Because a call to action post is like you can tell your story or you write whatever, but at the bottom, you give them a call to action. Do you want to join me? Or comment below to try this, like I did, comment below to try this free sample workout. Comment below if you're ready to sign up. Something like that. That's a call to action. And it's really good to have one of those once or twice a week, but not every day. Because again, it becomes like white noise. And then it's just annoying and everyone's like, she just wants me to sign up. You know what I mean? She just wants to sell me something. Okay, so it doesn't share. So having like these ads and like product pictures and stuff. So like say we put up a picture of peppermint mocha Shakeology. Again, that might be really good for your story because I'm like so glad that we have stories now. We can do a little bit more creative things like that. But again, to have that on your page is like just, you know, like a sales ad that we just don't want to have on there. Well, and also because people can just go to the website and order it and then they don't have you as their coach. So we want to give them kind of this like interest without knowing all the details. So it doesn't share that you're passionate about what you do. It just says that you want them to buy a product. And they are buying you. As much as we think Beachbody is amazing and we love Shakeology and everything about all of it, ultimately, like we want to build that trust. And how do we do that if we're not, I mean, I always bring back up stories, but this is about posting, but if we're not like showing them who we are, and if we're not showing how this is helping us on our journey, then it can't build that same trust and it can't be as real and relatable to them. So be super passionate about your journey, about whatever the results that you're trying to get, you know, whatever you're trying to get out of this, like go all in with it, be positive, have energy. And so don't hide behind those shared posts and ads and stuff like that. And it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to show that you're a work in progress. And like I said, you could probably go back. Well, I didn't have an Instagram when I first started, so it would take a long time to scroll to the bottom of my Facebook. But Like, they weren't good. The posts weren't good. The pictures weren't good. But, and I actually shared this on my story the other day, but like, I probably did care, but I cared so much more about my mission of helping other moms because my life was being changed. And I was just so excited to help other moms that I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. And eventually it got better and, gradually get better and better at what you're saying, how you're writing things. And I struggled a lot with posting, probably at least my first year. I would like to say even my first 2 years, because I felt like there are a lot of different styles. And I was trying to copy my coach's posting style because she's very gifted in it. I mean, she could write books, she could write blogs, and it's so easy to read. And she's always good at like relating things and analogies and things like that. Like, it's just like a sermon, and it really draws you in. And I struggled with that because I'm not a writer like that. Or maybe I am in a different way, but I don't think I am. And so I was trying to sort of copy her for a long time, and it just would be frustrating because that wasn't me and it wasn't working for me. So the more that you post, the more that you'll figure it out. But unfortunately, it's really not unfortunate. Like, you just have to fail forward and you have to force yourself to do it and force yourself to take those pictures, and they'll get better. And people will be like, oh, like, she's trying and she's being herself. And that's more important than anything. So, and then have a genuine interest in helping people and seeing them succeed. When you genuinely care, they will feel that. And they're going to be like, oh, okay, like, she really wants to help me. Like, when people, even when people turn me down, like, there was a lady, I don't know, I guess I don't need to tell the whole story, but I'm still like, I really actually care about helping you, not about making this sale in this moment. So I'll be here if you're ready in 6 months or in a year, or if you change your mind, I'm like, I'm not trying to sell this to you. And so again, like, sometimes that takes a little while for people to realize, but so everything about posting is about sharing and building trust and just being yourself. Okay, so you want to create an environment where people want to come to your page on a daily basis because they know they will get help for their own journey. So that's why we want to be sharing like what it's doing for us, because likely our audience needs something of that same range, if that makes sense. And then this is the last thing, and I'm actually going to go to my Instagram for a minute. And like, if you're new, then auditing your profile is not really going to do anything yet. But this is something to start thinking about so that you don't even have to audit it. You can just start doing this now. But we want to look at your profile. Do you have a variety of pictures, poses, like facial expressions, things that you're doing? And so here, I'll just go ahead and show you mine actually. So, and sorry, hopefully this isn't like awkward for everyone. I'm like staring at myself, but I am pushing fitness a lot right now because I'm about to have surgery and then I'm going to have 0 workout pictures. But if you scroll through, you can see that I have workout, and like, I'll actually click on these in a second to not read a whole thing, but point out like what a call to action post is and stuff like that. But I have like homeschool. This was about, I don't remember if that was about the launch. This was about like motherhood and having a hard day after Thanksgiving. Something with my husband, the kids, Thanksgiving. This was something that was like a topic about how I used to be and how I am now. Something with the kids, a different kind of workout thing. And again, like, all of these are not just like, I did my workout today. There's some kind of value. It's showing the space where I'm working out in. Like, there's all these little clues in that post besides just like me saying I did it, about my morning routine. So anyways, you can see that I do have a lot of workout posts, but they're not every single day. And a lot of times, like, if I'm struggling to remember or to like come up with a post for the day, I'll actually just go to my Instagram and look at the pictures and be like, what do I need today? Like, at least picture wise. And I've been trying to kind of balance it out like that. Now, I do have a lot of workout posts, but they're not every single day. And a lot of times, like, if I'm struggling to remember or to like come up with a post for the day, I'll actually just go to my Instagram and look at the pictures and be like, what do I need today? Like, at least picture wise. I don't know. I'm not going to take the time to go to the bottom because I didn't used to do this so well. It was almost a workout post every single day. So again, start, like just start somewhere. If this is overwhelming to you, at least get your workout posts out there. But I was going to show you a call to action. Okay. So this one was more of just, maybe I should go back for a second. These two were call to actions. I did two kind of back to back, like I said, because I'm trying to get in Success Club before my surgery because I don't know what's going to happen after that. So, okay. So I wrote, even in the call to action, I added some value first. I wrote this quote out. This was something that Shaun T said in the workout that we did. And then I related a little bit, like I gave them some motivation here. And then at the bottom, this would be your call to action. Comment below. It's like a very specific direction that you want them to take. And a lot of times people don't actually do this. So I'll still click on all these names and go invite them all. Be like, hey, not sure if you read through that whole post, but like, did you want to try the sample workout? Or oh, this was something else. Oh, this was for the Black Friday sale. Okay, I totally forgot about that. So then what was this one? Okay, this was a call to action about job one because I did the sample workout. And again, I gave a little quote that she said in the video. So I'm not coming up with this. I'm just listening. Sometimes I'll hit pause and go type it on my phone really quick so don't forget it at the end. And then I'm just giving a little bit of like relating, because what are people struggling with always? Nutrition, water, they're tired, their energy. And I want to make sure they know that it's only 20 minutes because that's like the shortest ever. And then I said, are you in? So that was a little bit different, but still kind of a call to action because I want them to be like, yes, I'm in, or something like that. Now, then the difference of this one, this would be more like you call it a breadcrumb. So you're talking about it. And like today I decided, here's my favorite moves. So maybe no one cares what my favorite moves are, but it's actually giving them like a little bit of a sneak peek about what day one was like if they didn't purchase it or if they haven't tried it yet. So they can be like, oh, okay, like, so that's how the workout goes, right? So it's still kind of adding a value. And then at the bottom, like I didn't say, do you want to sign up? Do you want to try this? This is just like, this would be a perfect example of me just sharing my journey. But I said a lot more than just day one is done, yay, or something, which is what I used to do. Like, yay, like day one's in the books, that's okay to say, but give them a little bit something so that they can learn something about the program or that they can relate to. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay, great. I feel like there was one more thing I was going to say, but I don't know what it was. Oh, I know what I was going to say because it was on that slide. Does your page make you happy? So I might look like totally goofy, ridiculous to anybody else, but when I go on this page, it's still just a snapshot of my life, of my days with the kids, and it makes me smile. Or I'm like proud of something, like I'm proud that I have conquered this with eating and shared that out loud or something like that. So again, not everyone is going to be your style. Not everyone's going to like you, but do you like you and do you like your page? And go from there. And obviously this works on Facebook too. It's just like really easy to see it all laid out on Instagram like that. So I like to show it like that. So, okay, I'm going to stop my screen. And that is all I had, I think. Yeah, I think it was.